Okay, projectors, I'm looking at you. So projectors are about 20% of the population, so close to 1 in 5, around that, give or take. And they have an undefined sacral, and there's no connection from a motor center to the throat center. So let's look at a couple of examples of projectors. So this one here has no defined sacral, and the throat is undefined. So that's just easy. No sacral, no throat definition, done. That's a projector with any other definition at all. And this one has an undefined sacral, but the throat is defined, but there's no connection from any other center to the throat. The throat is defined by 2 channels, but they don't connect to any of the motors. And there is a motor defined in this person's chart, but there's no connection from this motor up here. If this one gate 48 was defined, boom, then they're a manifestor. But without that, or, a couple of these other channels being defined, or just this one, like you can see how, quote, close that they are to being a manifestor, but that person is definitely a projector. There's no like cuspiness. There's no like, oh, I'm really close to being this, so I'm sometimes this type. Nope, nope, nope. You are what you are, what you are. So the projector's aura is what we call focused and absorbing and penetrating. It is a really distinctive way of going through life. So we have that undefined sacral, but it doesn't have the protection that the manifestor has. The manifestor has that repelling aura that protects their undefined sacral. But the projector actually has an aura that penetrates into other people's auras. And this might sound a little bit shocking and can even be controversial, but the projector aura is actually made to violate energetic boundaries. Because when a projector is focused on you, their aura is actually penetrating into your G center, that diamond in the middle, that identity center, that is seeing you deeply. And sometimes that's the most magnificent thing ever. And sometimes it is literally the worst thing ever, both for the projector as well as for the person that's being focused on. And so I am a projector, and as projectors, we have a different way of organizing and orienting our energy to the world. And we are the most likely to be deeply conditioned to be something that we are not. And so it is so common when a projector first comes to human design and learns that they're a projector, that they're like, that doesn't really apply to me. Or I disagree with this, this, and this. Projectors are here to master a particular system and get very, very, very good at that system and help to guide others within that system. Now, that also means that projectors are not here to work. So we have that undefined sacral, so we don't have that consistent access to our physical energy, similar to the manifestor that we've already covered. And we don't have a motor to the throat, so we don't have that manifestation ability to be able to kind of put out into the world what we are about. So we need other people in our life to be able to help us to have that consistent energy and to be able to create things in the world. We are here to connect up and to bring together and to rely upon others, as well as deeply blessing their lives with our gifts and what it is that we have to offer. The projector aura is one that is often very craved. People want that attention and that focus on themselves. But as a projector, it is really, really crucial to follow your strategy to make sure that you're living true to yourself so that you don't end up in negative situations. Because some people will want your attention and some people will want you. And those are very different things. And you might currently in your life have a setup with the people in your life that as you really sit with this and you look at it, you might realize, I don't really have anybody in my life that wants me. I have a lot of people in my life that want my attention, because your attention is incredibly valuable. You see things deeper than other people see them. You have a different level of comprehension about others, and what is obvious to you is not obvious to them or to other people around you. You have a gift and you have a unique way of seeing things. And it's just so common for the projector to have a different experience of their perception because it does come so easily, and to not value what that is and think that we need to work, because that undefined sacral has the huge propensity for taking on other people's energy and becoming a workhorse when you were never designed to be that. So your strategy is to wait to be invited. So what this means is it is very specific. It's different than the generator that needs to wait to respond. The generator's wait to respond is anything external. I mean, they could literally receive like a disinvitation and that would give them something to respond to. But we need to wait to be invited, which means that we need to wait for recognition, because an invitation without recognition is useless. So if somebody says, hey, you are just so great, I just love you, will you come help me shovel manure? Like, unless for some reason that brings you great joy, that's probably not a very good situation for you. Like, you're not here to do a tremendous amount of physical labor. You can do labor. You do have energy. You are a human. You have this wonderful body, but you're not meant to do sustained labor. And so if you're being invited to do something that demands that you use your sustained level of output day after day after day, that is not a recognized invitation. A recognized invitation will feel glorious and amazing. It will make you want to cry if you have not been receiving them. And like, I can feel you as you're watching this. There's some of you watching this that are like, I think I know what she's talking about. So we're going to keep going deeper. When somebody sees you, because you see other people really well, but when somebody sees you and says, I would love it if you would help guide me on this thing, and they ask you for the specific thing that you just love learning about and talking about and thinking about, and you are able to help them, and then they take your advice and then they do it, and then they come back and they say, oh my gosh, I did the thing that you told me to do and it was amazing, and now I have more questions for you. It is like absolute projector heaven, right? And if you don't have any of that going on in your life right now, it is time to really assess what's happening. If you are enslaved in a job and you're exhausted and burnt out, projectors are the most susceptible to burnout. Anybody can burn out. Any single type can burn out, but projectors are the most likely to be living not true to themselves and their energy management level needs, and to be doing much more output than it is remotely realistic, and to devalue what it is that you have to offer the world. So interestingly enough, the signature for projectors is success. The way that you'll know that you're living true to yourself is you will be successful. You will have the specific energy of success, and you will feel successful. And this can look like having really thriving relationships. This can look like having your bank account increasing. This can look like anything that is success for you. So defining what success looks like for you is really important, because for some people, success is going to look like having millions of dollars in the bank. But I think most people, when they get really, really still with themselves and they remove all the parts of themselves that are not them, and they look at what do they really truly want and desire, what is success for them isn't going to look like millions of dollars in the bank and 15 really fancy cars. Success is so individual. It could look like a certain amount of time that you have every single day to yourself or with your loved ones, or that you get to travel, or that you don't have to travel, or whatever it is. But take this opportunity. I'm inviting you to take the opportunity to figure out what success looks like for you. And the way that you'll know that you're not living true to yourself is bitterness. You will specifically be bitter, and nobody wants to invite a bitter projector to anything ever. So being a projector, I often say, is the best and the worst one of all of them, because when you're living true to yourself and you're waiting to be invited and you know your value, the key to this is you need to recognize yourself first. You have to understand the level of value that you bring just by literally stepping in the room. So when you know your value and you're living true to yourself, and your aura does the work of announcing what you are and who you are, and calls in those really high quality invitations, and you're invited to things, the world is magical. It is so easy, and it's lightweight, and it's lovely and wonderful. But if you're bitter because people aren't seeing you, you could be standing in the middle of a room of people that would all benefit from what you have to share, and not one of them can literally even hear you talking. You will get so bitter, and then nobody can invite you because nobody wants to invite that person who is so bitter. And so it is terrible when you're out of alignment. You literally are chasing away anything that could possibly make your life better. Like the generators, when they're not waiting to respond, they're creating more frustration and more frustration and more frustration. All they need to do is just wait a hot second and breathe and clear some stuff, which, yes, might be a lot more complicated than a 5-second process. But they just need to wait to respond, and then something will show up to respond to. And that's great. But for us, we need another person to recognize us. And for anything that we want to do that involves another person's aura, we have to wait to be invited. We don't have to wait to be invited to eat lunch or go for a walk or do whatever it is that we desire to do. But to do anything that involves another person, you have to wait to be invited. Now, that doesn't mean that you are helpless. You're not like this person just bobbing out in the middle of the ocean that doesn't have the ability to use their arms or legs or their brain. But what you need, like an example of how a projector can become recognized and become invited is start a YouTube channel, start a blog, start something where you're just talking about the thing that you love. Put yourself out there and let other people recognize you, but don't directly message people and say, hey, I'm doing this thing and I think you should do it with me, unless you know that that person recognizes you. Say you've already had 15 conversations with somebody about this thing that now you're like, I'm going to put this out there and do this thing. You can message that person and say, I just wanted to let you know that this is what I'm doing. And you can let them know, and then let them have their own response or invitation or whatever to that experience. But you are not here to initiate things, and you're not here to respond. Have you ever felt really daunted by like responding to all the text messages or emails or whatever? You're not here to respond. You don't have that sacral response. And so you get to wait to be invited, and you get to figure out what rest really means to you, and you get to value yourself deeply. And following your strategy and authority, which we'll get into authority in a little bit, is so vital for you to construct this amazing life that is meant just for you.